Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacaster from me, host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero Strike, Defender of the Fatherland, of hitting exciting 1 vs 1 on Semoisky. Yes, again, it's everyone's favourite map, Semoisky. Between the south, we got the Redxwings fighting for king and country, the Commonwealth. Rolling out here with the Guards Army Division tasked with clearing out the German lines here under the command of Shogun Cho, fighting for Germany. Deutschland, the 15th Panzergrenadier Division here with the Lightning War immediately chosen. He's got machine gun infantry and pioneer bulletins versus Redxwings Commando Regiment with anti-tank commando and infantry bulletins. We've got a double pioneer here for Shogun Cho with an MG42, which by the way, looks of it is a tier 2 rush he's planning here. Which makes it a bit strange that he's going for Lightning War since he's not going to be able to benefit from the G43s right away. So that is a bit of a surprising choice there by Shogun Cho here versus Redxwings. But we'll see what goes. I mean, you could still use the rest of the doctrine, but normally you'd go for early Lightning War to be able to utilize the Jaeger Light Infantry package. Meanwhile, the Redxwings rushing for the center of the infantry section in the America following up, which means he's not going to be able to grab the fuel right away, whereas Shogun Cho with his double pioneer start can grab more territory and thusly is less effective in the sense that, of course, if he doesn't get the corner house here, he's quickly finally going to find himself a bit of trouble here versus Redxwings. So there you go. Shots fired from inside the house. MP40 with the sections. Lee Enfield's Universal Care with its Bren gun joining in. And we got the MD42 moving in, probably going to occupy the corner house. And now the MD42 on the way there for Shogun Cho. Vickers arriving there for Redxwings pioneers falling out. He's probably trying to bait them in close and then hitting with another volley from the MP40s. Redxwings though does not fall for this, instead takes an opportunity to fall back into safer positions, maybe grabbing territory elsewhere. MD42 there arriving for Shogun Cho, second M42 coming in. Will it move down to support here? Or where will it go? Will it try to move north to support the pioneers by the fuel point there? So digging in here, Vickers moving in. That's going to make it hard for Shogun Cho to push through the village with just the pioneers. Yet he tries, though he obviously hasn't seen the Vickers yet. Though I'm sure he will soon be aware of its presence. Another section out there for Redxwings, firing up here north here. Universal Care versus Pioneers. Might stall Shogun Cho's push here since they can't really deal with the Universal Carrier very well. Though, of course, at the same time, the Universal Carrier can't actually hit any of the territories. So, might we got a little way. Machine gun up here versus the Vickers there. That's going to be losing engagement for the MG42. The Vickers simply just does more damage than the MG42. And Shogun Cho quickly pulls back. And meanwhile, shifting his forces towards Caesar. Can try to break through their section of the house versus the MG42 in light to negative cover. That's going to be one engagement there as well for Redxwings. We can see Shogun Cho realizes that one there as well. So Shogun Cho's initial pushes are encountering some spirited resistance there from Redxwings and opposition. MD42 the best Universal Care doing some nasty damage there. Landing a few well placed hits so far. Shogun Cho's start is encountering some issues, but is reacting I think decently there to Redxwings moves, who is finally going to secure fuel, so Shogun Cho will be getting a bit of an edge there over his British opponent. While he's taking out, he'll probably go for some fast 2-2s, maybe a flame for a half tank and some Panzergrenadier. I mean, he's always going to have to go for Panzergrenadiers, so he's going to need some kind of infantry to take on Redxwings down the road. Sappers following up there for Redxwings, because moving up here to occupy the corner house. That's going to leave it much harder for this force to actually be able to safely retreat. In fact, if it lingers too long and still in a bad engagement, he could easily lose a few units. Pioneers retreating, and we got the sappers out there for Redxwings. So he'll probably get up the light to make a nice company in a few moments once the pioneers hit back. MD4 reposition again. That's going to enter the machine gun there. Tactical oversight, I think, by Shogun Cho, forgetting about the possibility of Redxwings just occupying the corner house here and putting some pressure on him there. Setting up behind the fence. Vickers can't shoot at it. Can't shoot this section. They're trying to hit the point. But of course, the flank is exposed. And we've got the Universal Care dealing with the pioneers first. Section there pushed back. Has nonetheless cut off the cut-off point there. Cutting off Shogun Cho there from his munitions point. He has so far managed to secure. And go full retreat here. Like to make a nice complete going up for Shogun Cho. Machine gun there, slightly repositioning. Mines being laid down right on the cut-off point under the nose of Shogun Cho's machine gun. Bit of a bow play there, but Redxwings in this case though spotted and countered. He's charging the Universal Care into Shogun Cho's base here, aware that there's no Panzerfaust, nothing to really sort of punish it. Of course, if it lingers too long, again, he might run some issues. Still, got a 2-2 on the way. That's likely to be there to counter the Universal Care, though, of course, also quite good versus the British infantry, and knowing his opponent has no tank hunter infantry. It's going to be safest choice as well. That actually cancels it for the flamethrower half-tech most likely first. Not a bad choice either, obviously. Helps a lot of the machine guns and all the infantry, less so versus the universal carrier. But of course, without any infantry, the universal carrier is also going to be a lot less efficient and effective. So that's definitely not the bad approach either there. Bunker up for Shogun Cho as well. Redwings with more sappers following up there. And he's going there for the armoured car, likely anticipating a flame for half-tech. Shogun Cho also using some of his spare fuel manpower there for a fuel cache. Very good work. Very good work. So you still need to be careful about falling behind Redwings there, since again the Brits can very aggressively take up if you're not careful. Panzer Grenadier following up there for Shogun Cho and the 15th Panzer Grenadier Division. Fixing up the universal carrier in the centre. Mines being laid down there. Redwings worried about flanks and breakthrough attempts here through the village. Very good. Very good. Panzer Grenadier almost done. Flam Panzerwagen moving ahead. Oh, half-track moving ahead. But there we go. Flam Panzerwagen ready. Redwings immediately retreats there. Probably as soon as he sees the flame half-track up down upgrade, he pretty much figures that either his opponent's bluffing, which is highly unlikely since most players do not bluff about that, or he's got a flame for a half-track. So obviously in this case the safe decision is to retreat, because again, practically no one bluffs a flame for a half-track. Either they have it or they don't. So, I mean, if someone were to bluff it, they could probably pull it off pretty successfully, but generally don't see it. Right, he pops machine gun in with the lowest health. Probably should have waited for that to be healed up, but obviously all the munitions went for the flamethrowers. And sadly, he can't cauterize the wounds with it. That'll be a bit of a fatal one. Machine continue to operate on the far northern end of the map, their western end. Bit risky on its own. Armoured car ready. Flamethrower to India when the saps down there, needs to retreat the MD-42 pretty soon. It is incredibly low on health there. Shogun Cho is pushing his luck very far there. Pushing his luck very far. He also has got an anti-tank weapon. He's going for the Pack 40 there. Sappers push back. North he got the Pioneers. He also has the MD-42 where it was actually down here. Interesting. Interesting. Either way, pushing through the centre. We got the armoured car that's striking back for King and Country, rallying through the German lines. MD-42, the Vincent is on top, trying to deal with the AC Mark III. Flamethrower just trying to get away. There you go, getting some good hits in. But the Flamethrower check is down to half health, and there you go, pop smoke, and then it skips the other way around. Gained victory too, though he still really needs to get that machine gun out of there soon enough. Pack 40 out there, Panzer Abwehr on a Vierzig down here, MD-42 being attacked by the armoured car, and in the centre the Panzer gun is advancing here for Redwings now disrupted and tattered lines. The MD-42 though has seen a lot of action. It's not actually killed a lot of people. Nothing further going on. I mean, he's clearly aiming there to sort of quickly move on to tier 3 as soon as possible. Push out some medium armour versus Redwings as well. Though, of course, at the same time, he can't afford to be too lax about it either. He'll probably need another Panzer Grenadier squad to really make it work. Sappers on the way. He's going for more sappers in his spotting sections. Redwings on the guards arm there, pushing for a infantry who build. And there you go. Another Panzer Grenadier squad out for Shogun Cho. And the 15th Panzer Grenadiers. Back here, nothing further going on. In the centre, Saps advancing with minesweepers. Redwings has not seen any mines from his opponent, but he's taking no chances there, which is definitely the sensible approach as always. Take no chances. In particular when it comes to the Wehrmacht and the potential for a telemine, which could easily destroy any of your vehicles with a single boom. Panzer Grenadiers out. Still no medic bunker though. Fuel point hit, very good work there by Redwings. No take up yet for Shogun Cho, those quickly moving towards having the resources to put it off reasonably fast and then push out a medium tank. They still needs to make the move in the first place. And the faster you can push out some kind of tank versus Redwings, I would say the better here for Shogun Cho, as that would serve as a bit of a surprise there. At least an element of surprise. There you go, medic bunker finally upgraded. Losing in the centre once more, heading southwards there. Using their pack to grab territory. We can see there's a bit of sense of disruption there for Shogun Cho. And finally we got the take up here around 10 minutes. Probably aided nicely though by the fuel cache there to an extent, allowing him to move a bit faster towards it. And long game, of course, can utilize it, the better there for Shogun Cho. I mean, having an early fuel cache up tends to be a pretty good thing. Of course, it's going to be a bit more expensive once the pack hits, because it's going to be 250 manpower then. That's not going to say the fuel cache is going to be less amazing, but then you might be considering other options for boosting fuel, like the upper blitz more, or some of the fuel drops, as they're going to suddenly be looking a lot more cost efficient. Heading the southern fuel point, they almost got the pioneers. We can see Redxwings harassing, counter mining, and all of those fun things there, making much harder there for Shogun Cho to do what he wants to do. Cover destroyed there for the Panzergrenadier versus the armored car in the open. Some heavy fighting going on. There we go, full retreat from the Panzergrenadier as they are overwhelmed. Push for the cop on there. Sappers covering him before 2 flying backpack for them moving in. Barely avoiding the mine there. That's damn lucky for him. He can build a support core now. That's going to take him time to get out any armor. And considering the overall timing of things, probably wouldn't be a half bad idea to try and push for a Panzer IV. Then again, a Stuka might also be the wise idea, since there's likelihood that Redxwings is going to push out some medium tanks faster. And then again, this is Redxwings, and he's slightly shown a predilection for treacherous tanks, so Panzer IV might have a bit more impact faster. Those are the Tommies. But there you go, mine goes off in the pack 40, kills only one bastard. Incendiary Pierce rounds flying against the house of the walls, buckling under the sheer pressure. He's moving in the pack 40 up the other. They got more Incendiary Pierce rounds to deal with the AC. Goes to Pomacor up. And with the 2 fuel points and the fuel cache, Shogun Cho is now able to race ahead then, which would certainly make the Panzer IV look like a more attractive choice. Redxwings flooding a lot of manpower though. Might want to consider taking up. And there you go, got Commander docked, and that's likely because he's saving up then for the Commando Glide insertion. Rather expensive obviously, so Redxwings wants to play smartly and, you know, try and stay up for it, a bit risky in some ways, particularly he does need 1,000 manpower to call in a glider, so might be a bit excessive. He could consider some fuel caches to assist himself in getting out armor as well, maybe some Churchills faster. So I certainly feel like he is going a bit over the top there. Panzer going to advancing on the common machine gun there, pack 48 to deal with any Tommy vehicles, and up north there, Panzer going to squad dispatched with reckless glee. Still closing in there, closing in. Sappers section heading the southern fuel point. Bringing towards the centre with Pack 40's Panzer Grenadier and an MG42. Stug is now available. He could also soon go for the Ostwind, and even not too far off, he can go for the Panzer IV. Redxwings finally taking up. And Redxwings striking at both of Shogun Cho's fuel points now. Then we got one counter-attack in the far north, which is a Pioneer squad. That's not necessarily going to work out too well there for Shogun Cho on the 15th Panzer Grenadier. Point there secured, troops reinforcing and healed up. Section pushed out by the Pioneers. We've got a deeper flank going on here with the Sappers. They might also try and consider mining. Redxwings really wants those commanders, and obviously they're one of the highlights of the docks, and of course it does a lot of other really cool things, though most people tend not to use it. Back to 1,000 manpower. Shogun Cho clearly saying up for the Panzer IV. He could consider maybe another fuel cache somewhere, or more infantry while he waits for the Panzer IV. Those would be some good ideas. Or maybe machine gun bagger to protect the more exposed point. But there you go, Panzer IV on the way for Shogun Cho on the 15th Panzer Grenadier Division. Sent in by the nearby 9th Panzer Division to provide support for the 15th Panzer Grenadier. That's not uncommon in the later stages of war for panzer elements to be dispatched from the division, sort of support other elements that lack tanks. A machine gun fire there, Panzer Grenadier signaling a mine, taking some nasty losses. Down to half size, pack 40 moving in. And there you go, commanders finding available here for Redxwings, Panzer IV almost done for Shogun Cho. You can still do with a 3rd Panzer Grenadier squad or something. Up here, 2 Panzer squads plus the Sappers, the assault rifles overwhelming the Sten gun wielding Sappers. And there you go, Panzerkampfwagen 4 gefechtsbereit. Führt das Vaterland. Adding a pinned machine gun there on top as well. And more pioneers here for Shogun Cho. Interesting choice. Of course, it helps repair his Panzer IV. Could also be for more flamethrowers. Mines also an idea there. Back here we got Anvil on the way. Redxwings is aiming for the Churchill tanks once more. He's going for a munitions cache as well, which is quite interesting. Dust fuel abilities like assault, smoke raid operation, and the mortar cover ability. Panzer IV continues. We've got a wasp up there as well for the universal care. Panzer IV shoots, miserably misses. Section of getting a bit of a surprise as half the wall collapses. My God, those Germans, have they no respect for architecture? Well, it's not exactly very impressive architecture now, is it? 6-pounder gun following up there for Redxwings. As Oberleutnant Eberhard strikes forwards in his Panzerkampfwagen. Schnell, Rudolf, I want to hear those Tommies scream as I shoot them to death with my Maschinengewehr. Almost got the munitions cache. Sabs then a bit of trouble as they retreat past a lot of angry Germans, including the Panzer IV. Armor coming in, getting off a good hit there, the Panzer IV. Nice hit from the... Need to pull back that Panzer IV though. Got the sappers. Bit of a loss there for Redxwings. Still floating a lot of manpower. Still no commandos. I'm guessing he's trying to set up for some really good insertion or some kind of big assault where he then sort of goes all in. And then the commanders basically act as a shock element. Love to see Shogun Cho also floating quite a bit of manpower. Again, another fuel cache could be an idea, and then could, I know, theoretically rush for tier 4, or just go for more armor. I mean, another Panzer IV would be pretty efficient right about now. But put some serious pressure then Redxwings, who still only got a single 6-pounder gun. Also, considering he's got a lot of the map right now, would be a really great idea for Shogun Cho, considering he's also got 3 pioneer squads, would be laying down a lot of mines. But there you go, finally got the gliding insertion, and we've got smoke raid operation here. We got it all going. MD-14 to fall back, but Redxwings is planning some kind of large assault there. That was what I was anticipating. Smoke raid with a commando glider insertion, basically laying down a thick smoke screen across most of the front line here as the commando glider in, and he hits the retreat path cut-off point there. Basically, oh, that's a really, really sneaky assault here by Redxwings. That is some high-level planning. Brilliant here. Light gun bomb off. Panzer going to just force back. The commanders need to retreat as well. But as all this is happening again, as he's reacting to the hit on the cuff point, the British infantry just continues through a huge, dense cloud of smoke, which makes it harder here for Shogun Cho to defend himself against all of this. Just more smoke landing down there. Mein Gott, was ist es? Did Hermann Göring fart again? Anyways, Panzer IV in a bit of trouble. Panzer's doing what the band can, but overall, Redxwings has managed to storm the village, send the few units being rushed off. Surprisingly successfully, just using this, I would say, highly underutilized ability, which allows him to grab or decap points pretty fast. I believe. Yeah. But then there's a few issues still. I'd say that was reasonably successful. And now we got relief infantry out here for Shogun Cho. Another Panzer IV on the way for him as well, adding more panzers, adding more armor. And now the Panzer IV counter-attacking, rather putting an end there to Redxwings' assault. It rather lacked a bit of sustaining elements, I think, to ultimately pull through. But overall, like the spirit of it. Had the timing, I think, also a bit better, like Redxwings be able to time the smoke assault better. Then calling the commandos, I think we've been able to have a bit more impact. But enough about that. Overall, liked it though. That was really impressive looking. That was really impressive. That was just top notch. Second Panzer IV there, ramming though for Shogun Cho. Troops reinforcing, healing, setting up, grabbing the center victory point with the Panzergrenadier. Pioneer advancing on the AC Mark III. Still, no attempt at mining here from Shogun Cho and still flooding manpower. Both players seem to be flooding a bit there, though now it's Shogun Cho flooding more than Redxwings. Sometime for one calling a Churchill tank. Second Panzer IV, they're ready for Shogun Cho. And Deutschland. So there you go. Redxwings ultimately didn't make too much progress with this assault. They did do some damage, but He wasn't actually able to hold any ground. I suppose the best thing can be said is he didn't lose his commanders either. And he might also make Shogun Cho a bit more paranoid about what Redxwings might try and pull off. If he's willing to just sort of launch a huge smoke screened assault there, straight through the centre while calling in commandos. It might just impair some of Shogun Cho's thought processes. But there you go. Up here, units running into a bit of trouble. Sabres push back. In the centre, troops continue to advance here. Panzer IV heading southwards to stall the British advances through there, secure the fuel. So he's quickly moving about his Panzer IVs like a mobile reserve, the fire brigade, if you will. While the infantry machine guns maintain more vital position, can just rush the Panzer IVs between them, so defend. I mean, that's a sort of straightforward system to use for defences if you have to maintain a lot of territory. Form up a small tactical reserve while sort of units guard sort of the more tactically vital points against the enemy. That way, if he sort of launches more assaults, you can sort of prioritise and sort of react to things better. So that's something there to consider. But anyways, Panzer moving northwards there. Blitzkrieg in there. He's striking. He's quickly straight heading there for the flank of the anti-tank gun. Second anti-tank. Oh, Panzer IV's not quite going in fast enough. You also need to be careful he doesn't get immobilised there by the AC. Panzer could try and rush it, and there you go. Panzer will not taking too much damage. You need to be a bit careful. Got the AC though, but his Panzer IV getting into too much, in a bit of trouble there. Quickly trying to avoid it. Ah, he makes the wrong turn. The wrong turn. He should try and make a sharp corner turn around the church. So we're just going a straight line there. I think had he tried that instead, there's a high likelihood this Panzer IV would have pulled away. As a rule of thumb, try to always do find a sharp corner turn around it when dealing with anti-tank guns, so have some smoke ready, which is what Shogun Cho did not have. So he should aim for the sharp turn around the church there, which case he wouldn't be able to deal with it. So a bit unfortunate there for Shogun Cho. I mean, he could have gotten lucky and gotten away with it, but in those situations, you generally just want to aim for what actually is more likely to work, not, you know, what's lucky. A lot of bridging for there being cut to ribbons there in the middle of the bloody road. Panzers are there shredding them with well-placed, well-aimed assault rifle fire. Back here, nothing further going for Shogun Cho. He's floating a ton of resources. I mean, at this rate, he would easily afford to take a hit for Panthers or something. You definitely should might be floating 1,300 manpower. A few fuel caches again would be a really good idea. I mean, hell, he could easily then be setting up for the Tiger tank that when he's about to lose his Panzer IV there, like the first one, which is definitely something he should be avoiding. This time, though, he makes a turn around the church and avoids Panzer destruction. But he seems to be certainly saving up for something there, since again he's saving up so much fuel, not going for more Panzer IVs. But the manpower flow is definitely excessive. And more Panzer Grenadier, nice work. He wasn't able to actually get a single Ostrom squad off relief infantry, by the way. That was just munitions down the drain. And he's actually going for tier 4. He's close to the Tiger, but he's actually aiming for tier 4 here. Interesting. Panzer Grenadier forces walking with the commandos. Finding themselves outclassed by German firepower. There we go, Panzer Grenadier moving in. Also, I'll remember, big thanks to Stahlzange for donating and supporting the Propagandacast. Most appreciated. And also to all the Patreon supporters, there's now a new book review app from the Propaganda Library on Patreon as well. So enjoy it. Meanwhile, Pioneers have been pushed back by sappers in the south. They did their best to get the munitions cache, but couldn't hold on any longer. Panzer IV being fixed up. Tech almost done, in which case you can build a heavy Panzer core and very quickly push out a Panther. I still think a fuel cache here would be pretty good. Though he's already getting 42 fuel. I mean, 45 fuel per minute doesn't hurt either. And this is going to be quite a tricky thing for Redxwings to get back from. He's allowed his opponent to hold most of the map. He's been a bit too focused, I think, not on the fuel enough for the time being. So there's a distinct risk ahead here for Redxwings, and he's going to certainly have to do some heavy work lifting to mitigate this. Right, he did end up going with the Tiger first here. Not a bad choice, but he's clearly planning for more down the road here. Though I still think you should go for a fuel cache more. Redxwings making small advances into the centre, but he's now beginning to focus more on the sides as well again, which is good. You can go for the Churchill tank right about now. You should roughly have the fuel and the manpower. Yep. Just 4 more fuel, though of course it's going to help if he gets one of the fuel points back under his control. So already here, I mean, 25 minutes in the game, the map has always swinged heavily and aggressively back between the two players. But other players suddenly find themselves without much fuel and they're constrained within their base. I mean, this is definitely an interesting match. Well, they're pushing back the sappers. The anti-tank is only with the Vickers, and up north there we got the Tiger tank moving in. No infantry support though, but going to hunt down some Tommies for the Churchill tank on the way there for Redxwings. There we go, Sapper in a bit of trouble there. Heavy damage being inflicted by the Stahl monstrosity. We got White Phosphorus called in here. That seems like a weird choice, considering there's absolutely nothing here. We might be able to cover the machine gun house there, but I don't know. I'm not so sure. It might just be beyond the arc of the artillery. Could have been a misclick here, something like that from Redxwings, but certainly a shame there's just basically 150 missions just wasted on that. Here, Sappers being held back by Pioneers with Flame for the machine gun section. They're grabbing a few points, and the tank is ending up to deal with the Tiger tank. Shots easily penetrating, incendiary armor piercing rounds pouring down the section in the centre. About the parent there, being absolutely, well, immolated there, and it's already virtually fleeing. But there you go, Churchill tank up for Redxwings, and the Guards armoured. Pioneers are dealing with the British infantry with a Flammenwerfer. First counter attack here, double punch goes virtually 3, virtually 2. There's the commandos, light cannon bomb off. Oh, he walks somewhat into it, almost losing the entire unit. And we got tactical advance here. Big push here, Tiger tank moving in, 6-pounder guns moving in, machine gun moving in, Paladin Court right. We got a Panther 4 blitzing in as well. Churchill tank moving in. Oh dear, Panther 4 taking hit there from the 6-pounder gun. Second shot misses, Panzer there, moving ahead, bomb grenading on the retreat path, wiping a section. Churchill tank advances, Panzer gun being pushed back here. Vickers gaining veterancy 1. Tiger tank shifting away, a half health. Panther 4 moving about in the north. So, I mean, tense and nasty finally made. Shogun Cho looking to float, and there you go. Pack 40 Tiger tank versus Churchill tank. Need to fall back here. Pops a grenade right on the Pack 40. Air support called in here by Shogun Cho. Stuka Kanonenvogeln inbound from the Luftwaffe. Tiger tank on the fire, the 6-pounder guns could almost lose it. There you go. Aircraft fire going in there. And almost takes out the Churchill tank. Tiger gets away, the Pack 40 falling back. And the South British infantry advancing. Full King and Country troops are reinforcing. Suddenly things got a lot more intense. Churchill tank dragging away its mostly maimed corpse there. Tiger though not doing much better. Its only advantage is didn't get a damaged engine. Back here, reinforcement healing going on, mostly. No weapon maxes up, so spending most of munitions on the abilities, which of course is being made a bit harder by the loss of his munitions cache. Shogun Cho is also now building the heavy Panzer Corps. Will he go for a Panther support target here? There's the Churchill tank. Will he go for a Sturmpanzer try and blast through Redxwings infantry and support weapons? Will he aim for Panzerwerfers too? Well, actually do the same, just from a slightly different angle. Moving into the centre here, section being engaged by the Panther 4. 6 kills for Deutschland, das Vaterland. And there we go, we got the hardened Panzer Grenadier moving in, but the machine gun is very much an obstacle for their continued advance, and the lack of smoke means he can't just immediately suppress the machine gun and make, stop firing at his men. Of course, this is where if this was the actual war, the Panther would likely just fired a smoke shield, since most German tanks, from my understanding, did have a few smoke shields, for dealing with anti-tank guns and such. Of course, that would make the Panther really Nasty in some ways if it did have it. But it would certainly allow some more ability to support infantry and other things. Either way, commanders pushed back here with the M42, which is now looking pretty weak. The house is itself about to collapse. Tiger tank almost good to go there for Shogun Cho. And, well, that just floated away. Also, telemines finally down there from Shogun Cho. Mines laid down by Redwings. Pioneer's going to be caught here by the Churchill tank opening up there with its 75mm gun. These sort of early Churchill tanks, they did not have very impressive guns, since they're not intended to fight either tanks, but as sort of the war went on, they sort of agreed to upgun the Churchill tanks so they could sort of fight enemy armor a bit better. They're primarily meant for just driving through fortified lines and sort of dealing with bunkers and the likes. So a little fun fact there. Tiger tank setting out. Panzer going to be moving in. Force. Apparently for again there's a machine gun there. Seems like Shogun Cho is really forgetful about the machine gun. Is still not going for any sort of serious counters to it. So that feels like, honestly a mistake. I mean, you can just try and flank here with some other units moving for the south here. But for some reason it says just moving them in one horde here head on. And Tiger's meant to lead with it. But of course that makes it an easy target for the 6-pounder gun. So this is completely turning into a bit of a mess here for Shogun Cho out of... I'm not entirely sure what's going on. It could just be sheer laziness more than anything. But hey, Oberst, we should prepare for this assault properly. Yeah, I can't be asked, you know. This war is tough. I just want to do this easy way. Second, veteran the 3-Panzer squad here. Straight into our mine though, right in front of the Churchill tank. Need to retreat right away. Pack 4 falling back, commanders flying here in the Pack 4. We got Panzer, there's a point, but they're also in a pretty precarious state. Redwings, they're really beginning to hit hard here against Shogun Cho again, punishing him for his possibly lazy mistakes. But there you go. Shogun Cho's going for the steel Panzer. No, he's going for double Panzerwerfers. He's going to really dig out Redwings like a rat by using a mallet to break all the walls. I mean, that's one way to catch a rat, I suppose. Sabres there ground the northern fuel point. Pioneers ground the southern fuel point. Tiger being fixed up. He should probably get more Pioneers on that one, if possible, to speed up the repairs. Otherwise, that's going to take him forever. Still, Panzerwerfer almost done. He could then follow up with the Sturmpanzer or Panther. We'll have to see what Shogun Cho and the 15th Panzer are going to do division ends up with. Churchill there running a bit back. Fun fact, the first Tiger tank was actually taken out by Churchill tank in North Africa. M42 needs to fall back. That's collapsed. Sabres moving in, that's the Pioneer. Tiger being repaired, Pack 40 moving in, Panzer going to be moving in as well. Panzer there was a section, assault rifles gutting them in a matter of seconds. Cutting them to ribbons right here, but we're starting to make a bit of tactical error. Machine gun under fire from the M42, which is being fired back. And then he moves the Panzers over to the machine gun to get suppressed as well. That feels a bit of a mistake there by Shogun Cho again. Tiger tank though, more or less good to go. Panzerwerfer also good to go. You can actually go for the Panther now as well here. Redwings could soon go for another Churchill. You could also consider Firefly, which I think would be the right approach. Panther getting a good hit on the house with the section 6-pounder gun. They're providing covering fire there, and the south fuel pump being grabbed by Redwings. Brave men once more. Panther fight probably around the MG. There you go, pinning some units. They're not doing too much damage, but it is the Panzer IV there. Not enough armor support or infantry support. Need to be careful around those anti-tank guns there. Shogun Cho need to be very careful, and that seems to be sort of a mistake. Now I was going for second Panzerwerfer anyways. Probably recommend a Panther at this stage, or more. Honestly, Stoops I think would just get good actually. Cheap as well. Tiger tank push back. But no, so far Shogun Cho is aiming for a second Panzerwerfer Pack 40 moving in here. Shot bouncing off the Churchill tanks, very thick front line, was over 100mm thick. Another strike from the Luftwaffe Panzers there, retreating very heroically the other way. Tactical advance here, lying to push further forwards, and there you go. Kanonenvogel firing shots at the Churchill tank, doing some damage, but not enough. In the centre there, troops suppressed, panzers there. Already used the ground grenade, but there you go, got the Tiger tank moving in. He's also lost one of his veteran, the 3 Panzer going to be scored, so that's actually pretty bad for Shogun Cho. Losing a veteran, the 3 Panzer going to be scored is a sizable loss. Second Churchill tank for Redwings and the Guards armoured as they just prepare for more big tanks. As for Shogun Cho, he's just preparing for more rocket artillery here with the 2nd Panzerwerfer 42, also unmanned from the 9th Panzer Division. Since Panzerwerfers were pretty much unique to Panzer divisions, if I'm not mistaken. Though there were a few variations of it, including versions used by the Waffen-SS, primarily those 5 Katyusha rockets. Initially used in captured ones, but the Waffen-SS actually began producing its own rockets eventually. That's a fun side note. Victory points wise, it's actually pretty close between the two. Second Churchill there running for Redwings. Need to get the first one fixed up while the veterans run 5 kills. Tiger tank 10 kills, veterans you want. Still nothing sort of in terms of additional armor support here for the Tiger tank. The Tiger tank is a bit on its own. No Stuks, no Panther, no Panzer Force. Whereas Redwings at least bring up another Churchill tank. But he can go for the Panther now he wants to. Getting ready for another assault. Looks like it's going to be straight through the centre again. Back at base. Nothing happening. Nothing happening for Shogun Cho. We got the Churchill tank moving up the west side here. Just right, Panzer move train pack 45, penetrating the Churchill side armour. Go. Smoke stream down from him again. Smoke radar racing line to push through. Machine guns pack 40 suddenly find themselves a harder time. Basically Shogun Cho's defense is suddenly a lot less impressive since he's basically negating their range. Very good work there. Using it. I mean, even the pack 40 basically gets cloaked in all of this. And there you go. Point blank range of the Tiger tank. Churchill's all move through here. Further fire going down there. Pack 40 being pushed back. Machine gun is effectively useless as more smoke pops down. Tiger tank fighting the Churchill tank, of course, leading right there. Anti-tank is around there, shooting at the Tiger tank. All the way down to close to half health there. Shogun Cho not bringing up more armor. Blitzkrieging through here. He's trying to now desperately escape here. These mazes of smoke and menace. Panzers there. Pioneers rushing through section. Need to retreat, about to get wiped here. Anti-tank holds in a bit of a situation. Tiger tank, the explosives rear to the Churchill tank. Moving in here, grenades off, trying to catch some things. Commandos, sappers blasting away section wipe. Tiger tank low on health. Tiger tank very low on health. In fact, he could go replaced easily though. That's only going to be a problem there again. Could indicate he should have, actually gone for more tanks. And there you go, Tiger abandoned in the middle of the village. Big loss there for Shogun Cho. Calls in a Panther now instead of a second Tiger. Tiger tank, Churchill there. Stunned, got the Tiger tank destroyed. He doesn't think he can hold the village, he just destroys it. Still, he's doing a lot of damage there to Shogun Cho. Churchill tank moving hit could actually grenade the pack 40 again. Oh, he's destroyed outright. Vets 22, Churchill tank pushing back the MD42 here. Down the south, Pioneers bringing up. Panther on the way there for Shogun Cho, almost halfway done. Had in mind a bit more, so that kind of assault that would have been a bit more difficult for Redwings. Definitely feels like Shogun Cho's been slacking off a bit. But another nice use of smoke radar race, and this time Redwings was actually, able to hold the gains mate. They did suffer some infantry losses. So 2 Churchill tanks here. 1 veteran 2, 1 veteran C0. And there you go, Panther out for Shogun Cho. Panzer camp fighting 5 sappers pushing out the Pioneers in the south. 6 Pioneer gun pulling back for reinforcement. Veteran fleet was going to be a waste there for Redwings to lose it. Machine guns lagging behind, anti-tank guns there as well. Shogun Cho striking northwards to defend the fuel point there. Panther moving down there with the Panzerwerfers in support. So far they've actually not done that much. And the argument, I mean, if he doesn't get that much more out of them, the argument could be made he should have gone for Panther or Sturmpanzer instead, to be honest. With those double Panzerwerfers. Going straight here for the Churchill tank with a Panther. Another bit of air support called in. Panther getting flanked here, but the Churchill tank needs to be careful about that. Panther fire. Got the anti-tank and the just has been crewed. Jet tank taking him down. But he's also hitting the Panther, stunning it. But there he goes, straight into Tiller mine. And the Luftwaffe finishes off there. Just barely saving the Panther units, destroying it themselves. Need to pull back the Panther before the anti-tank gun there takes it out. Damn close there for Shogun Cho. Damn close, and Redxwings lost his most veteran Churchill crew. Suddenly things got a lot harder for him, as he's got nothing to really withstand the virtually 2 pounds with his machine gun now attacking into the village. Since his Churchill, thanks to the Luftwaffe support and the fact its main gun is out, can't defend against it. So that did not last long there for Redxwings. That did not last long. It's a bit of a rough engagement there, and we go. More commanders of Redxwings now. Interesting choice there. Interesting choice. Having lost his previous commander squad as well. During that previous assault. So that's going to cost him a bit, then that's going to cost him a bit. Grabbing the Vickers to help defend. Very good choice there. And get commander strong with their silent Sten guns. Panther almost good to go again. He could easily go for a second Panther. Of course, he might try and save up for a Tiger tank again. We should see what it ends up here with Shogun Cho's got 193 versus Redxwings 123. Thank you, nothing further going on for them. Churchill tank still taking time before it's ready, and the commandos are hiding, looking to bait in any Germans. Panzerkampfwagen 5 moving into the village and setting about destroying the anti-tank, and there you go, moving ahead there, shooting at the glider. Yeah, shoots at glider good before any more Tommies come out of it. I'm pretty sure it's empty, Ludwig. 9, shoot it some more. Maybe we should be looking out for this. Tommies might actually be hiding. 9, shoots the glider. There we got Southwest engaged by Panzergrenadiere, closing in at 23. Another carve point, the Church was good to go, 6 pounder gun there, the Redxwings Leads much on the point. And the glider is destroyed. Oh, Pioneer spotted there, Redxwings Leads but negative cover and low on health. And we got here, White Frost called in, this time looks like a bit more effective than the first barrage called in, but there you go. Panzer fight there to break up Redxwings, assaultly stole it. White Frost was motor rounds to landing across the northern half of the village, pretty much preventing Shogun Cho from counter-tank injuries. He's already interfloat a lot of manpower again, though. He seems aiming for the Tiger. Panzers there, having swept the glider landing zone there, have decided it's completely empty. Alright, it says nothing here. Ah, scheiße, it says something behind us. Someone else has to deal with this. We took care of the glider. We have done our part for Germany. Maybe not. And the machine gun actually just retreats. Panzer needs to be careful engaged. There you go. Geballte Ladung, 74 points left for range. Oh! Commando team wiped out by the Panzergrenadiers. Quite a loss for Redxwings. Now going for crumbs. Realise he can't just rely on Churchill tanks anymore. He has to go for something else. But it's starting to look pretty bleak here. Just 66 points versus 193 there. I mean, the only thing he's really got going for him is Shogun. Oh, well, that's because his Nightfall pop cap. Probably because all those Panzerwerfers really aren't doing a lot of good for Shogun Cho, but they're basically sort of preventing him from going for any more armour. So that's a small relief there for Redxwings to an extent. I mean, the problem is in the wipe something, Shogun Cho can easily replace it. So there's a definite problem as well, but at the same time, I mean, theoretically, you know, there's an upper limit then to how much they can get. And there you go, Panther taking fire from the Redxwings Leads anti-tank gun, which almost seems to be firing small rockets there. I don't know why, but the 6 pounder Redxwings Leads just gets a slightly different firing animation. Oh wait, tries a lot more impressive rounds there versus the Panther. Panther fire, they're trying to silence it. Most of the rockets don't make no impression, except on the ground. Having suffered some losses though, Shogun Cho can now go for Tiger Tank. But just more infantry because down to 1 pound support, but he does go for the Tiger Tank. Both of the MD-42s, by the way, are veterans of 3, one of them with 18 kills. Panther tank head on, straight for the same spot. But he knows there's a veteran of 3 anti-tank gun. I do think Shogun Cho needs to re-evaluate his attack tactics here. But they're going for it. Oh, grenade off from the Churchill tank, wiping out the machine gun there. That was definitely a bit of a mistake there by Shogun Cho, underestimating the Churchill's ability to deal with machine guns like that. But there you go. Panther lands a good hit with its high velocity gun, penetrating the Churchill's armour. Like a hot German knife through frail British butter. Got the Tiger tank sitting out there on its own, not support. At least it's not attacking head on into the anti-tank gun. But the lack of wind support might make things a bit more difficult here for Shogun Cho. Strikes in, catching it with his Tiger. 6-pounder gun quickly responding here. Though could do a bit of healing, as it is low on health. Good assault there from Shogun Cho. Could take it up very quickly, leaving then Redxwings rather undergunned, as it's really one of his best options right now for dealing with the German armour, thanks to its high rate of fire and of course its high penetration. As a rule of thumb, do not take veteran 3 anti-tank guns lightly. They can and will punish your tanks. There you go, Panther the tank head on again. Tiger tank now switching all the way towards here. Panther trying to advance, but there's still the MD-42 there. And there you go, 6-pounder gun lands another good hit on the Panther's frontal armour. Second shot bounces. Churchill tank to get from the Panther. Panther fire again on the British support position, forcing them to relocate here, lest they suffer extermination at the hands of German artillery. Tiger tank moving in, but the Panther is closely approaching half health. More Panther fire, there you go, half health from the Panther. Half squad size on the 6-pounder gun, but the Panther's almost dead. And he gets the Panther. Too slow to retreat there. Shogun Cho's decision to move the Tiger all the way up instead of maybe trying to attack from here proved to be a bit of a mistake there. He should have just had some support for the Tiger up there, and it worked out a lot better. And Redxwings was then able to score an easy kill on the Panther, leaving Shogun Cho now in a more sticky situation. Though he's still got plenty of resources to replace it, it is still giving Redxwings time to dig in. So we'll have to see how that works out, but it's certainly starting to look a bit worrying. Panther's good to go. Commandos out, and there goes second Panther for Shogun Cho. Close to veteran 2 on that Churchill tank as well. We'll have to see if it lasts long. Well, it has lasted longer than the first one. And Panther's still approaching very slowly. Panther's moving in again. They really don't seem to be doing a lot there for Shogun Cho. And again, I do feel like a Panther, earlier Panther, or not Panther, but Stuart Panther on earlier Panther would have served him better. Or maybe some Austrians instead, to be honest. If we could just flank the anti-tank with the Austrian, that anti-tank would be very quickly dead. But honestly, just a flank with a Panther gun for him, some tactical movement could very quickly put it to rest. So it feels a bit lazy from Shogun Cho, to be honest. There you go, the Tiger patrolling again, Commander's hiding. Redxwings made good use of their ambush abilities, just hide away from the Germans. Up north, you got Panther with Sapper sitting with a section there against the northern fuel. And Panther there arriving a few moments here for Shogun Cho. There we go. Another Panther out. So he's had 2 Tigers, 2 Panthers out in the battlefield. Redxwings going for another Cromwell here. Nothing fancy, no Fireflies, no Churchills, just good old Cromwells. Finding the centre here. German infantry trying to break through. Repulsing up north, you've got the Cromwell now raiding, putting more pressure on Shogun Cho's flanks. Now that's artillery barrage here around the centre of the Panzerwerfers, firing around the church and the sappers there, hoping to get some wipes in. Basically 2 on the Churchill tank. Tiger tank, Panther moving in, but again we still got the 6-pounder gun there waiting, and he's still got no plan for dealing with it, allowing it several free hits on the Tiger tank. And there you go, took it down to half health already. I mean, once more I repeat, do not underestimate a veteran free anti-tank gun. Now the Crom there running for Redwings, and the Guards armoured. Panzerwerfer's hanging back here. More pioneers for Shogun Cho, barely any infantry. Certainly nothing they can do quickly just put an end to that anti-tank gun, except the veteran free panzer gun used to us so far. They're not doing it for sure. Shots fired at the commandos, and none really seem to connect with them. None really seem to connect at all. Machine gun boy down there still. He could use support here, maybe flanking the anti-tank with the machine gun is actually not a half bad idea. Of course, in this case, gets spotted by the Cromwell, ruining that plan very rapidly. Now you can see Redwings getting more aggressive with his Cromwell, just hitting here and there, making it harder there for Shogun Cho to lock him down. Very good approach there. Tank commander up. Machine gun forced retreat, and there you go. Pack 40 for Shogun Cho. You can sort of sense he's beginning to perhaps get a bit desperate now versus Redwings. He's now actually almost down to the same level of victory points that Redwings is, and he's just not making any serious progression. I mean, it's partly because he just keeps tanking through this narrow vector. There's not any serious attacks through here, anything through there. It makes it very easy then for Redwings to just line up this, you know, one veteran 3 anti-tank then to just break it up, because it just needs to cover this area. I mean, again, if there's more threats here, I mean, things would be a lot more difficult for Redwings to defend the village with. But because he insists on defending the centre, it's so, you know, a tank for the centre, I mean, it becomes a lot easier for Redwings to just defend, because again, the overall front he in reality has to defend is just this, because Shogun Cho doesn't attack for here, 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 here. I mean, again, there's a lot he could attack through from, and he doesn't do it. Got another mortar cover going in. Again, he's just making it difficult there for Shogun Cho to attack through. I mean, he's just further punishing Shogun Cho for it, and Shogun Cho sure as hell goes right through it. He doesn't care, apparently. Which basically means Redwings is seeing through Shogun Cho, and Shogun Cho apparently just doesn't give a rat's ass. Rockets there flying, he's going for Panzer. He's getting desperate. He's willing to, you know, take his one good anti-infantry unit now and take it away, just to focus more on the tanks. I mean, he's just blinded here. And it's not just by the white phosphorus and all the smoke Redwings been laying down. And there we go, his Panzerjäger unit wiped. His veteran 3 Panzer Grenadier squad, which he turned into an anti-tank team, is dead. 24 points left here. Tiger tank Panther striking head on again. This time he's going for the anti-tank gun. Those things some hits to the rearmor. His Panther's all taking just a lot of hits to the front. Panther 5 raining in. 6-pounder gun finally goes down. Air support calling as well here, but his Tiger and his Panther's already heavily damaged. And we got the Cromwell running up behind the lines, flanking into Shogun Cho's supporting elements there, striking at the Panzerwerfers. Very good work. Churchill tank almost down. And he can't grab the points because there's no infantry nearby. He's not even heading for the northern victory points. Even if he's destroying all Redwings, God, he's still losing. He is still losing. Air support calling it. Churchill down. Even he's losing the victory point. He's got. He rushed in a machine gun bar where they managed it, but it's just too late now. It is just too late. And with this, it is GG. A loss for the German army, a victory here for the Commonwealth, a victory for Redwings, a victory for Churchill, tanks, commanders, and whatnot. Though some of the times the assaults were a bit, well, didn't quite fully get through with what they wanted. He wasn't quite the best defender. Of course, once he got into the later game, Shogun Cho just seemed to lock down in terms of tactics, just resulted in smaller scale or large scale assaults for a small frontage rather than just trying to attack from a larger frontage, making it easy for Redwings to just defend against him. And I think sort of allowed, you know, Redwings to defend, because otherwise he could have been crushed, because Shogun Cho just had the resource advantage. But for some bizarre reason, again, he just insisted attacking through this very narrow corridor straight into him. I mean, he never really sort of launched any big scale assaults here or here, despite having the resource to do so. I also feel like the Panzerwerfer is just a weak choice here for Shogun Cho. He should have gone for something else that would have given him much better success of video pushing through, like more infantry and more tanks. Like the Panzerwerfers definitely did not do Shogun Cho a lot of good. I mean, they made good use of the doctrine for the most part, but there were still certain elements that were lacking to really make serious breakthrough there. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, one, subscribe to the friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and a practical feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dancing. Cheers. Thank you for watching. A big thanks to all my patrons and supporters, without which this episode would have been possible. Thank you all and see you tomorrow. Cheers.